Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review for Anime Week here on the channel. This is going to be of the previously released Bandai Tamashii Nation's Robot Spirits Side MS Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Custom Zaku 2. I'm going to have a little bit of a spiel here like I usually do, so bear with me on this. But this here is a more recent re-release, I believe. Not too recent. I believe it came out in 2022. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if you know that. Also, I don't think the packaging is too different from that original release, but I also could be wrong about that. I don't usually get these Robot Spirits figures or these Side MS figures anymore, really, because I like to stick with the model kits. I used to want to get these just to not deal with the model kits, but they're nice in their own right, but I'm just really into Gunpla now. But the 2020 model kit of the Char's Custom Zaku is also one I would recommend if you are maybe thinking about this one, but maybe want to get one of these model kits. I'll do a comparison of that in a little bit with this Side MS here. But Char is my favorite character from the original Mobile Suit Gundam, so I'm glad to finally get around to opening this. It's just such a nice looking piece. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the packaging. As you see, we actually have a lot of nice original like stills and frames from the original anime. Bandai Namco. We have whatever this little acronym is for anime right there, anime of the first generation, as well as the Xeon logo. On the side here, it just says Robot Spirits Side MS R number 193 with all of that lettering. And then on the front, you do see the figure with those accessories, an image of the figure and that photography, as well as where it says Zaku 2, Char's custom model, the original Mobile Suit Gundam logo. The larger, that's Blasphemer Pass kind of, the larger Tamashii Nation's quality sticker, as well as the Tamashii Nation's and Bandai logos. On this side here, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but you do see anime of the first generation again, as well as almost the full body image because the arms are cut off, of the Zaku figure, as well as all that lettering that was featured from before. Now on this opposite side, there's actually a lot of these nice images that they show off with how there's these different accessories, these different features and functions going on here. Yeah, all that looks really nice. Getting to the top of the packaging here, it's not much going on. Just Robot Spirits animated. It's just a window box that tells you the name of this particular mobile suit, and that is not focusing for some reason. Getting down to the bottom here, though, you can see, again, a nice image of the figure posed like that. On the back here, you see the famous kick that he does against the RX-78-2 right there. Different images and posing, and then just some other stuff. I did have this imported a while ago, so I don't have the bluefin sticker on here. But this is for ages 15 and up, as well as has a barcode there. Enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging. This is really awesome. While I still really like that 1/44 scale model kit I was talking about a second ago, this thing is also really fantastic, and there are reasons to want to pick this up more compared to a model kit. It's got like part separation and detailing that's a little bit better than model kit, which is kind of a no-dust statement. Like, both are still good, but just as an action figure alone, this is really awesome. Let's take a look at the accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Here's a quick look at the instruction manual. It basically goes over all of the accessories and gimmicks on the figure and how to operate everything properly so you don't end up breaking anything. This is a pretty large instruction manual. I had to back away, so it's a little bit hard to see. If I can find the PDF online, I will post it in the description. I also want to take a look at the accessories really quick here, just this widespread. If this is good enough for you, then I do recommend skipping to the next section of the video, because I know for a fact we're going to be here for a while. There are a lot of parts going on here, including this little small piece here. So yeah, I might have some trouble here. I apologize in advance. This small little fin piece here looks the exact same, and I've compared them, looks the exact same as the one that you get packaged on the figure. So I think it's just an extra one just in case it ends up breaking, which is nice that they did that. We also have what I like to call the tree of hands here. With these Side MS figures, they come with these. You can actually port these on top of each other because you have this little peg here and a hole right there. Basically, I can show you everything here without having to grab everything individually. But all of these hands look really nice. The back of the hands and like the whole color on here is done very much similarly, or the exact same as like the rest of this like orange-ish, like red type of plastic going on here. All of it looks pretty good. On the inside of the hands, you get some of that detailing there, but you get, as you see, these more like relaxed hands, kind of. These are different types of posing hands. These here, they kind of give me more of the vibe of like doing different types of action poses, or like it's about to hang on to certain accessories. Then these are definitely gun holding hands for the rifle and bazooka. Then we have these more, I feel like these are more angled grip hands because the hands it comes packaged with, this mobile suit, little bits of like a straightforward grip, where this is a little bit more angled there. So quick look at those. The Heat Hawk here looks really nice with this darker gold blade piece there, and this brighter purple looks really nice. And then this tube section with that gray, all of that looks really good. I think there might be a little bit of some specs going on here on this, but like this is like more of a matte finish right here on this part of the purple, and then around here is more of like this glossy type of finish. And then we do have a stored version, which I don't know why I keep dropping things. This is what it looks like. You see the similarities in the sculpting, but also how different they are, because especially with this shorter handle, and then the blade is gone. There's a lot of sections on here that are ports, but this one here, you just have this little like rectangular section here. Push it in like so. And then there you go. You have stored that properly. We also have the machine gun. This Zaku machine gun is really nice looking. Nice pinkish type of sight right here. All in this brighter gray plastic going on here. I think that the detailing all throughout is actually really nice. Like right here on the barrel too. I do want to go ahead and show off. We have this blast effect that almost looks like a lightning piece. This yellow translucent plastic for the rifle. It's really sick actually. It's a little bit hard for me to find where it is. There it is. And then yeah, that just looks like it's being fired. And that is really clean. Again, this moves here. And then you also have this that can, you have to shimmy it a little bit. This drum comes off and you can store it right here. And it's actually surprisingly, yeah, I mean it comes off rather easily, but it stays in rather securely as well, which is nice to see. There's a decent amount of stuff that you can do with the bazooka. And first of all, this thing has a lot of rotation in some areas at the barrel, and then at the back half, and then mostly really like this move. So that is really sick to see that. And there's a reason for that. First of all though, the detailing on here, really nice detailing all throughout. Just really nice line work. There is some weird like marked sections here. Ever since I started building Gunpla, I notice. I don't actually notice it often, but like when something like this sticks out, it definitely sticks out. So that's a little ugly looking if you ask me. But, I mean, this is still a really nice looking thing. The vent section right here is nice. And then this is what the front looks like. The idea, which is really sick with this really nice translucent but cloudy painted like missile effect. You can see the missile here and just how these clouds look. This thing looks sick. The idea is that you just plug this into that. And it's actually a really secure fit too. So that is really sick to see. You have these back sections right here. And basically you'll want to be careful, first of all, with these handles. But you'll want to push the sight over like so, which is pretty easy to do. There's this groove section right here. There's a groove on the inside of this one here. And then you just pop it in like that. And it's a pretty secure fit. It can pop off a little easily, but it's not too, like shaking it right now, it's not too bad. Opposite side also has this clip here. You can remove these and pop these back in. These are a little bit difficult to pop in, but removing them is just fine. And then you have this one here, which if I keep dropping things, it's going to drive me insane. This here is more of like this type of clip that has a little extra piece right here. The idea actually is to store it on the back flap I was showing off a second ago. You just insert the rocket launcher. Basically, that clip goes into the handle of the rocket launcher, which is a little bit iffy, but it does end up actually working pretty well and being really secure. Then popping it out, I recommend taking the whole clip out of the back section and then just popping it out, because it's actually not too hard to take the C-clip out. It's just, be careful with it though. It's definitely kind of gives me Marvel Legends Captain America shield vibes, where sometimes that ends up not being super secure. We have this blast effect here, which I don't know what's going on. I think this is maybe for if you want to put a base piece in here, like a Tamashii base, stick that in here. But this here is a really nice orange translucent plastic going on here. It's like bubbles almost. These pieces that stick out here. The blast effect here is super clean. And then this is a rectangular section. There's all kinds of rectangular sections, like right here, certain parts of the legs, and especially on this shield piece right here. You basically just insert it like this, and it looks like it's being blasted upon. And that is really sick. Last but not least, we do have 2 of these thruster type of pieces, which go from this clear type of plastic to more of this darker orange towards the tips here. There's 2 of these exact same ones. So the idea is, there's different vent sections, like right here on the backpack. And all of these vents are compatible. This is a little bit thin, so just be careful with that little peg that goes into there. But once you get in there, you can swivel it around a little bit, and then popping it out is not too difficult. There's also some sections for, I thought maybe that would be it, but no. There's sections towards the bottom of the feet, and there's holes here, and you can insert these like so if you wanted to. So there's a lot of really nice stuff going on here. Now, I don't remember if a couple years ago when I reviewed the Robot Spirits RX-78-2, if I compared one of the high grades compared to that, but on the left, that is the 2020 high grade model kit. On the right, that is the figure we're talking about today, the Robot Spirits. So besides the biggest difference being the colors, which I think, like in a decent amount of screenshots I've seen, the anime colors are more accurate actually here on the 2020 version. There could be frames where it looks like this, where it's like slightly like brighter and like almost brownish colors, but other than those differences, you're also getting lots of differences on the surface with some of the detailing. So of course, because you have a $20 model kit compared to a $55 or $60 figure, there's more detail on the smaller details, I should say, on the $60 figure. Like, look at the upper, actually towards the knees and on the thighs. You see some of that lining detail. Also, you have some of these vent sections that are by the, you see the little vents on the, basically the calf section there. And then, biggest difference again is like how some of the seam lines are done. Of course, with an actual action figure, they're going to be covered up a lot more than what you'd have with the model kit, which you can cover up them on your own, but and again, that's just how a $20 model kit works. You see how the vents are different here on the backpacks. There's only 2 large ones here, these smaller ones up here, and then you see how that whole backpack section is done. On the Robot Spirits one, you see like lots of like more vents actually, even though they're smaller. I feel like the head might be ever so slightly wider on the Robot Spirits one, but like these things are very similar in terms of look. I mean, these little shield pieces are slightly different, but like this left shoulder pad piece is very similar with each other in terms of like sculpting, just some minor details going on. So both look really good. Again, it really depends on which one you want to get. If you want to get like a $55 actual action figure that you have to build, or if you like building these things, then I do recommend this one. This one's really fantastic. So now we're taking an actual look at the figure here. This thing looks really fantastic. All these details are really nice. Now, I don't know exactly all the inner workings, again, with all mobile suits. So I'm just going to go off of like anatomically, what I think is correct. So, like the head, like these are these different tube sections that attach to the back here. That looks pretty good, I believe. I'm trying to move these around. I think these are hard. No, these are softer plastic. So anything that's a tube on here, similar to that model kit I was talking about a second ago. It's also a softer plastic going on here. And it's really impressive how it's done. Like, this is the head of the model kit. And this is already, it's a little softer in this one here, so it moves around a little bit more. But it's really impressive what Bandai in general, or whether it be, Bandai Spirits making the kits or Tamashii Nations, have done with the soft plastic here. You see how it, this attaches from the backpack into the stomach section. Similar approach to like the mouth vent going on into here. That mono eye is really nicely done. Very similar color, pretty much the same color as the scopes on the weapons. That's really nicely done. Then there's these black sections that are actual, like I think they're painted in there. Yeah, so that looks really good. This little shield piece here, a little bit of these ridges. Yeah, there's another little. I just noticed, like on the back here, I know some action figures are going to have this no matter what, but these just, it looks like whoever was chipping these off on the factory, these just don't look very clean. I don't really know how it works in the factory, so I won't judge too much. And they can be pretty hidden pretty easily. Like, when you move these back in, you're not going to see these at all. So I'm not going to, I mean, that is something to mention, but I won't nitpick too much. Stuff like, if you look on the inside here of this shield piece,
That's really sick. I don't want to keep bringing it out, but you'd have to paint all of that with the details like this. But there's a little bit actual more detail on the inside of this shield compared to this, but that is still really nice color separation going on in there. We have this like slightly matte finish. It's not really a finish, but like the molding on this is like a matte finish, I guess. On like the brighter orange on the shoulders, going down to the arms. A little bit of glossy on this like very dark gray elbow piece. Again, you have all these different like small rectangular vent sections. This shoulder pad with the spikes on it is really cool. A little bit of some divots in there or whatever these are. Looking really good. Then you get down to like the arm sections. Again, there is a decent amount of smaller details in here that sometimes you just won't get with certain high grades or certain kits in general. Maybe if it was like a higher grade or like a higher scale maybe. But getting to like the hands here with these softer plastic hands going on here. These kind of act like fists, but they're not really fists. They're meant for gripping this accessory, and you're wondering, what's the difference between this type of gripping hand and the ones that you showed off a little earlier ago? Well, let's just assume that it's plugged in straight into the wrist. Yeah, so that would be bent at an angle with these other hands. So, these are double purpose if you want to do fists, or really they're just meant for gripping hands. Because, it's a little apparent, but it's not too apparent that, you can hide the fact that it looks like a fist if you're doing photos, honestly. Okay, is there anything else I need to mention in the arms? There's like a lot of gray detailing for like how some of the joints are engineered. Detailing wise, there's not much going on, but there's definitely some separated plastic. And then we have this more black, this black section right here in the chest, looking pretty nice. Some protruding detail. Again, with these softer plastic tube sections going to the backpack. The finish on the backpack looks fantastic. This lighter gray, and then that's the same gray as this. I thought it was darker, but all that lighter gray onto how really nice, almost glossy this red looks. Looks fantastic. There's a little bit of a darker red going on here, like almost like a brownish red, and then you have the rest of the chest in a brownish red with a little bit of some detailing, like around here. Oh, that looks really good. Let's just move on to the skirt section, because I feel like I spent too much time talking about the upper torso. Looking pretty nice. You have a little bit of detailing on the inside here. Actually, really cool. So I knock that over, and you heard that. So, unfortunately, with the robot spirits, unlike with this, you have the option of this is like a soft plastic, which is really cool. But this is fine as a harder plastic. It's nothing, to cry about or anything. Still looks nice. Like the inside detailing looks good. On the outside here with the line details, not too bad either. And then these little dent sections. I don't know what they are. These pieces also pop out a little bit. They're a little too difficult, not too hard actually. Again, a little bit of detailing on the inside, but mostly is just there to cover joints too. This does not move at all, but I covered this earlier. But you have this back piece here, this here, and there's also a section right here underneath. These are compatible with Tamashii bases, of course, but also if you have a good smile like Figma base, like I usually hang on to, these are also very compatible in both sections. So that's pretty cool there. And then that pops right back in. Getting down to the hips, we have some really light gray where the joints get covered there. But again, I mentioned this earlier, these light, these light orange, reddish color sections with the thigh sections. Near the knee, they have some nice lining going on there, which looks really cool. A little bit of these dents in the back there. These pieces, do these move at all? I have no idea. Like, they definitely, these like back leg pieces look like, yeah, they move. It's just, they're not easy to pull out on your own, I guess. But there's some detailing there. And again, some softer plastic on the tubes. So when you bend this, it won't, it keeps that pose. It might want to kick out a little bit because of these, but you can bend it a little bit. I wonder if these would actually come undone if you pull too hard, probably. But there's mostly just some engineering going on in the knees. Oh, a little bit of detailing with like this dark gray section and these side knee sections there. Getting down to the rest of like this calf section, some more of these little dents going on in here. These rectangular hole sections for blast effects to be ported into. These separate like vent pieces here, all a different plastic, looking really nice with that lighter gray. Then we get down in here to the feet, this little ankle piece right there. A little bit of some hair for some reason. The line work again is really nice, and then this is what the bottom of the feet look like. Lots of really awesome detail, and then these little, I wouldn't say thruster pieces, but whatever these are, looking really sick. So yeah, I mean, this thing looks similar to the model kit, but a model kit already looks pretty good, the one I was talking about earlier, and then this one is also just really fantastic looking. Articulation is really nice on this thing, if not just a slightly bit hindered. First of all, you can take this off here, and then you can rotate the mono eye in different sections. So like you can make it move like this, move it like so, pop this back on, and that is going to be difficult for me to do because the head's turned away. Yeah, I turned that eye way too much, but you see that is actually really cool that it can do that. It's kind of similar to the model kit, but there's just a lever right here that you push to make it happen. Yeah, not too bad. It's definitely cooler, I think, how they do this. We also have the heads, actually, I was about to do the chest, but we have some detailing here in the neck and then this little vent section I forgot to mention, but you can see how far up it goes, and then you can go forward a little bit. Side to side is a little bit difficult because this head's kind of flat, but rotation is pretty good on this thing. These chest sections move forward and back like this, and then they can go down a little bit, and you can make it move up, kind of. The shoulder pad does get in the way, but that can rotate. But that is really as far up as you can go, so that's a little iffy. There's a ball joint in there for that, and then they think there's a, oh gosh, it gets difficult to move this around, but I think there's a swivel here, yeah, and then that ball joint there. Arms can go all the way around here, and then I think there's maybe some other parts I'm missing, like maybe some other stuff that I'm missing in the shoulder, but that's about it with the shoulder section. But swivel at the arm, and then we have a double jointed elbow, which I think there's, yeah, it's a double joint because of that separate section, and then something else swivels somewhere, so it swivels here at this part of the elbow too. Then we have an actual, I'm grabbing things to see what else, a ball joint hinge here that is standard with what we have with a lot of it. Oh yeah, this just moved, I think. Yeah, that part of the cuff right there. Here. Let's just move on because I'm getting too distracted. This can go forward, pushing it back, and then, yeah, so it's a little finicky. Side to side like this, and then swivel's not really that great. I don't think the backpack has anything going on there. Again, I mentioned these skirts can move. They're on ball joints, so they can move around. Oh no, they're on hinges. These are more on ball joints. The side ones are not. You can push these down a little bit, though. You get a little bit of inner detail of it. Well, that's really just the engineering. But you can kind of make it go forward without making that shimmy. And then go in and out. Upper thigh, well, there's a ball joint in there, but the separate upper thigh swivel as well. Double jointed knee. And then we have a ball joint, the ankle swiveling here a little bit, and side to side, up and down a little bit. Then we have, ankle rocker is also built in there. And it's a little hard to move, but we also have a toe hinge.
Measuring out the figure, it's a little difficult because of that tall fin piece, but we're looking at around 12 to 13 centimeters, so that will make this around the 5-inch mark there. It's going to be a little bit shorter than both RX-78-2s I have. On the right, that is the Robot Spirits one, which is actually a little bit shorter than the one on the left. That is the entry grade one. But over on the left and right, we have standard size Black Series and Marvel Legends figures that are going to be taller, of course. Overall, I think that this is a really nice Robot Spirits figure, but it's really up to you if it's one that you would want to get, because I'm sure a lot of people out there prefer actual action figures instead of just, taking the time to build a model kit. Don't blame you at all. I would recommend this one in that case because it's really nicely detailed. It has lots of really nice articulation. I think that's a little bit better articulation compared to the 2020 model kit. It comes with a lot of accessories and a lot of color separation in those accessories, whereas you would have to put in more work and paint those accessories on the 2020 model kit. But if you're someone who likes to put in the work for a model kit, then I would recommend the 2020 one because it's really the only Char Zaku of that one that I have so far. This here, again, on its own is really sick. Great articulation, great detailing all throughout. Color accuracy for the anime is up in the air based on what screenshots you might find, but the colors on here are still really cool. All these accessories, the different weapons, the different effects, the different hands, all look really sick. And the price on this really isn't that bad, and it's still pretty readily available, even a little bit more than the RX-78 too. I will leave links in the description below if you're trying to find this one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.